Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes. And coming or going, hit the like button. Hey, we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. We're back again because I just checked out Jessie Woo and Justin, aka King of Reads, video, y'all, on their review. Because sometimes they'll do their reviews on YouTube, and then other times they'll do it on a paid membership, right? I think on Patreon or whatever, right? But there was some tea that just a little bit, right? That Jessie Woo said that kind of added a little bit of context for me, and I just want to talk about it and talk about their reaction to everything. So, essentially, overall, Jessie Woo feels like Porsha and Shamea really haven't been friends, and she doesn't understand why the show was promoting, you know, oh, these are best friends, and feels that Shamea was not keeping it completely 100 by saying that her and Porsha were best friends for 30 years, if there had been periods of time where y'all have fallen out, because best friends don't fall out like that. Like, even if you did have a fallout, you would come back together. You wouldn't go like significant years and significant lengths of time with just not dealing with each other, right? And she also said as well that Porsha and Shamea have not been friends, and said that Porsha was not even at Shiloh's baby shower. That was just a couple of years ago in 2023. That Jessie Woo was in attendance at that baby shower, and Porsha, Shamea's so-called best friend, was nowhere to be found, y'all. Nowhere to be found, so they have not been friends. So, nonetheless, she feels on, and she is saying, listen, I don't think either one of them are victims, because Porsha hasn't been a good friend to Shamea. We know this. She's been treating her like whatever. But Shamea is framing this like, oh, this is such my good friend. This is my best friend, this and that. And, you know, it's not translating. We're not seeing the friendship on the show. And then also, Jessie Woo said Shamea was kind of not being honest about how she was kikiing about Porsha. She thought that because whatever drinks and things she had with Angela and the other girls or whatever, gossiping about Porsha or whatever, since it wasn't on the show, she was trying to play that, oh, well, since it wasn't filmed, it didn't really happen. But something happened for Angela to bring that bone, to bring that tea to Porsha, for Porsha to start crying with the fan. And so Jessie Woo called Angela Oakley the MVP, but also said that Angela Oakley has been talking out to both sides of her neck and everything else. And basically, when she's in Porsha, she's pouring into Porsha, acting like they're cool and everything else. When she's around Shamea, she's acting like they're cool. She's pouring in. When she's around Britt, she acts like they're cool. They're pouring in and everything else. But then when it's time to beef, when it's time to call somebody out, here come Angela. Angela is right here to drag you to your face or whatever. And then also, Jessie Woo felt that Angela is onto something with her after show appearance about Shamea being calculated and willing to put up with how Porsha was treating her because she was a friend of, and she had an ultimate goal of being a star on this show. And then it was a comment that Jessie Woo referenced that Shamea had said back on Watch What Happens Live a couple weeks back, where she said, you know, it's been 30 years, and just now 30 years later, I'm realizing like Porsha don't really like me like that. Now, Jessie Woo said as well, she wishes Porsha would tell Shamea what her real issue is with Shamea. And there seems to be some type of issue that Porsha, for whatever reason, doesn't want to say it on camera. And she compared how she doesn't feel that Porsha is jealous of Shamea being on the show, but she compared it to Teresa and Melissa from Real Housewives of New Jersey, how basically Teresa feels like this is her show, this is her platform, but then when she's in scenes with Melissa and everything else, it's always like she's got this attitude. She doesn't want to feature her. She doesn't want to see it for her. She doesn't want to deal with her. She doesn't want anything. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of feels that way with Porsha. And then she also referenced Kandi Speak on it, on how Shamea was so excited to get the peach, and, you know, confirmed again that Kandi was obviously advocating for Shamea to get this peach. And she said she called Porsha. She was so excited. And Porsha sent her a text message that said, congratulations. So, and Porsha also left a comment about it or whatever when Shamea, you know, did a post that she was going to be a peach. I can't remember if it was Justin or Jessie Woo who said that Porsha is very image conscious and that Porsha is not really trying to talk about this demise of the friendship with Shamea because Porsha is already dealing with the divorce from Simon. She's already dealing with all this other stuff. She doesn't want to get dragged, but by her being dismissive and everything else, it's getting dragged on anyways. And then Jessie will reference when Porsha was on The Breakfast Club, how she said that she didn't want her friendship, her role friendship with Shamea to be utilized for content for the show because she doesn't know how it's going to be edited or how it's going to be portrayed. She wanted to protect that and preserve that. But unbeknownst to Porsha, it was going to be up for consumption one way or the other because it sounded like Shamea wanted it to be up for consumption because she was already talking to producers. She was already talking to the other girls about you. So therefore, it was going to come up, right? There was some back and forth as far as whether or not Justin and Jessie Woo felt like this was for a storyline or not. It kind of sounds like after Porsha's post this weekend, they don't think it's a storyline anymore. They think this is real, but they just feel like you keep seeing best friend, best friend, best friend, best friend, but that's not really translating from what we've been seeing in the episodes this season. Y'all really haven't been hanging out like that this season like a best friend would. But then immediately the next episode, we see Porsha just like run to Phaedra's arms. like she's so excited to see Phaedra, y'all. So then also Jessie Woo said that, you know, Shamea, like saying you're a best friend of Shamea, like she feels like Shamea doesn't have the discernment. She just wants everybody to be a best friend because she was confused with how quickly Kelly is now all of a sudden her best friend and is on her YouTube and is all in this and that and they're besties. And furthermore, I told y'all they traveled together to New York and everything else. Like, they're really thick as thieves. And my thing is, if we're talking like a 30-year friendship and you could just quickly move on to somebody who the first episode was coming for you, was dragging your marriage and everything else, like what's good? What's tea? like, what? So they feel like Shamea does not, pretty much anybody could be a best friend to Shamea. Shamea just wants to be friends with everybody. But I feel that's a problem too. I understand being popular and being cool with everybody and everything else, but I feel like there's a difference between you could just be cool with everybody, you don't have any beef with anybody, but to say everybody's your best friend, you call Kandi your baby mama, you're calling Kelly now your bestie, and y'all just met 5 minutes ago with the show being newbie peaches this season, that's weird to me. Like, I feel like there has to be some discernment here on what a real best friend is, on what a real best friend does. And this is where Angela's point comes into play, because it's like, again, Shamea said on The Breakfast Club, her and Porsha, you know, had lost touch or whatever, but it reconnected after Porsha got married to Cordell. Well, we know shortly after Porsha, you know, and Cordell were basically early in their marriage that she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So the question becomes, did you become cool with Porsha, even though you had all this stuff going on? You were an Atlanta Hawks cheerleader, you cheered for the Falcons, and you were doing acting, you were doing all these things, you were trying to be in different groups and different singing groups and none of the stuff was popping off, did you befriend Porsha because Porsha was on Real Housewives? That's the question I want to know. Did you befriend Porsha again because she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and has this always been your end game to be famous? If that's what it is, then we could just have, then I'd be like, all right, cool. I understand it. You played the long game like what Angela Oakley is saying. You pretended like everything's water in the bridge, no matter how horrible Porsha treats me on camera. But the moment I get that peach, I'm coming for that behind. I'm coming for that behind. I'm going to cry in every scene. I am going to play the victim. I am going to say how horrible of a friend you have been to me. But it sounds like, per Jessie Woo and others, y'all really haven't been friends like that for a while. Even though Bravo was trying to promote this. And they also feel Porsha played this wrong, because Porsha should have leaned into, played up them being besties this season. And we really don't see them together. But then the other thing that is wild to me is SHAMEA keeps mentioning how she's upset with Porsha for this. She's upset with Porsha for that. She's not feeling Porsha for this, right? But who is she sitting next to in the next episode? She's sitting next to Porsha. And it's just like, it's like, if you're telling me you're not really feeling your friend like this, y'all not really cool, y'all not really talking, but y'all up in my face, you sitting next to me, it's like SHAMEA is still begging for Porsha's acceptance, Porsha's acknowledgement, and it is weird. It is weird to me. And also, basically, Jessie Woo and Justin were like, listen, looky here, we don't want to see this next season. Y'all better have a whole hash out at this reunion, but there needs to be a decision moving forward for season 17, presuming y'all both coming back. Either y'all gonna resolve this friendship or it's done. But they feel that this is dragging out too many episodes and that this is doing too much, and they're over it. They are sick of it, y'all. So that is it. That is all that I got. But they think that, you know, Angela Oakley is onto something. I know some of y'all disagree. And y'all say that the reason SHAMEA wasn't on the show was because she wouldn't show her husband. But fast forward to now, in a recent interview she did, she basically said production was happy with her, that she didn't need to show her husband because we haven't really seen him since episode 1. Let's keep it a buck. We've seen him on FaceTime a few times, but we have not seen him since episode 1, y'all. Compared to Britt's husband and compared to Angela Oakley's husband, like, let's call a thing a thing. We've even seen more of Dennis than we have of SHAMEA's husband, and Porsha's not even with Dennis, allegedly. So nonetheless, you know, she said the reason she wasn't on the show was because of her husband, but then on that after show, she said allegedly that she doesn't need to be on this show at all if it was going to cause problems with their friendship with Porsha. Well, fast forward to now, it has caused problems with her friendship with Porsha. She's not going anywhere, y'all. SHAMEA's not going anywhere. So this is why I don't feel sorry for neither, because you were willing to put up with Porsha treating you like crap as long as an eventual opportunity came for you to be a peach holder. So that gives credence to Angela saying that you're calculated, right? But at the same token, Porsha needs to give something in these scenes in regards to the friendship, because she's getting dragged. And I don't think Porsha is used to this amount of hate. Like even people were making excuses for Porsha even back on Rojas season 9. They were trying to give it all to Phaedra. But they were, you know, they were advocating for Porsha the following season. Like, Kandi needs to get over it. Kandi needs to get a move on. She really is mad at Phaedra. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So Porsha really hasn't been getting the heat like this. So it's like, and around this time, Simon was dragging her all up through the internet. So I don't know what is going to happen from here, but Porsha also has to make a decision too. Does she want this friendship with SHAMEA or not? Because it's not looking good either way. But I just don't want them to fake anything either. And I think that's what Porsha was saying. SHAMEA aired that out, that Porsha wanted to have, you know, basically you got to pay me for you to show us being besties. I took that as though they're not really besties off camera right now. So basically you would be paying Porsha extra to fake a best friend friendship with Shamea to film together as besties. That's how I took it. I didn't take it like they're so close off camera, because it was obvious and clear as day that there's no communication off camera. So I think Shamea did that, trying to make it seem like Porsha's acting a different way off camera, but I don't think Porsha is. I don't think they're friends, you guys. I don't think they're that cool. I think outside of maybe their kids having stuff or whatever, or they happen to be at the same events as their mutual friends, they show up and everything else, but I don't think they're cool like that. And it's awkward. But I think that's what Porsha was getting at when she was saying, you got to pay me. Basically saying, you got to pay me to fake this friendship because we're not really friends right now. So, I don't know. So, there's that. Be kind in the comments, y'all, because I know y'all about to tussle. So be kind in the comments, but let me know what y'all think. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.